Hey YouTube, it's your girl Chic from Chic Say What. I am coming on tonight because I wanted to talk about Whoopi Goldberg and her suspension. Sis is suspended from her place of employment for 2 whole weeks, and word on the street is she's not happy about that. So we're going to get into it tonight. Before we get started, please like, share, subscribe if you have jumped on this live. Hit that notification bell so you know when I go live. But welcome to the party. Welcome to the parties. Over here, we are the Starlights, and this is where we get into it. All things celebrities, viral moments, YouTube drama. We just get into it all over here. So, like I said, we're going to talk about Whoopi Goldberg. It's a lot of chatter in the streets, in particular the YouTube streets, about Whoopi and how the situation was handled pertaining to the comments that she made on the show that she's a co-host on called The View. So we're going to get into that. Some of you, may have already heard about this story and some may not. So that's okay because we're going to get into it. You know how I do over here. I start showing all the receipts, everything that's kind of out there on the net. So basically, we cover ourselves over here. So we're going to see what Whoopi has to say about this. We also going to get into it to see what the co-hosts have to say because apparently they have some thoughts about this whole entire situation. So let's get into it. Again, welcome, welcome, welcome. As you come in, please like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you will not miss a moment when I go live. And if you happen to catch the playback, that's cool too. So just happy to have you here at the party. So let me share my screen and we're going to get into it, y'all. Okay, so this is from the sun.com. Listen, Whoopi, like, what y'all got? Y'all got all the smoke for me? Bring it. This article goes on to say Whoopi Goldberg is livid after her suspension from The View following her statement that the Holocaust was not about race, reports claim. So Whoopi, like, listen, they was, doing the most over there. Hitler, they was doing the most, but it wasn't about race. It wasn't about race. Whatever y'all say, it wasn't about race. So let's get into this article and see what Whoopi thought it was about then. So the article goes on to say, after being disciplined by network executives, Whoopi reportedly says she feels humiliated and has supposedly told coworkers she is going to quit the show, according to a source. Do y'all think Whoopi is about to walk away from this bag? I believe the last I knew, Whoopi is pretty much the longest standing host on that show right now with the current panel. So I think she takes more of the lead on that show. I really don't watch that show regularly. I mostly kind of just check it out when there's viral moments captured that's kind of circling around on YouTube. But otherwise, you're not going to catch me sitting watching a whole episode of The View on any day. So let's see. So these are pictures of her co-hosts. I know we got Sunny hosting. Let me see. Y'all don't give me the line about their names. I know her name's Sunny. She the other black woman that's on there. So the source told the New York Post that Whoopi feels ABC mishandled the situation. She followed their playbook. She went on the Late Show with Stephen Colbert and then apologized again on The View the next day, the insider told the outlet. The source claimed Whoopi is taking the suspension hard and she wants to leave the show. Her ego has been hurt and she's telling people she's going to quit, they added. Suspension from The View is like getting suspended from Bravo. The bar is very low. In a statement, ABC News President Kim Goldwyn said she would be suspending Whoopi for 2 weeks for her wrong and hurtful comments. Y'all, I'm feeling like she got the whole Nick Cannon treatment. Like, except, Nick Cannon had his own show. So it wasn't nobody really suspending him from his show, but he was losing like deals and things like that from other gigs that he had going on. But y'all tell me, are y'all picking up, the Nick Cannon treatment? This is the whole quote unquote wake up call treatment. Like, sis, you might be making money like us, but don't get it twisted. You are not one of us. And you all know, for those the woke people out there, you know what us means. And many believe that this might have been a wake up call for Whoopi. Like, listen, Whoopi, you might want to go and look in the mirror and see what you look like. No, don't go looking in your bank account. We need you to look in the mirror and see what you look like. Then look around that table that you sit around 5 days a week at work and see what they look like. Then we'll go from there. So that's kind of what I'm picking up from there. But Whoopi, she ain't having it. She's like, sis is really in her feelings, and she don't appreciate this. She like, yo, I'm Whoopi Goldberg. I'm the lead. I'm holding it down. Y'all doing the most. Y'all wrong. I'm right. I said I'm sorry. What more do you want? So apparently that wasn't enough. While Whoopi, the article goes on to say, while Whoopi has apologized, I've asked her to take time. Okay, so whose quote is this? Okay, so is this from a statement from Kim Goldwyn? So she says, while Whoopi has apologized, I've asked her to take time to reflect and learn about the impact of her comments. If that ain't the Nick Cannon treatment, I don't know what it is. The entire ABC News organization stands in solidarity with our Jewish colleagues, friends, family, and communities. Y'all, I feel like when you go against the Jewish community, that's like up there going against like the LGBTQ community. And forgive me if I left off any letters, but like it's just certain communities that I've come to see that you really can't come for or even misspeak about, because I didn't hear, I mean, I've heard the comments that, Whoopi said, and we'll probably get into it in the article, or I'll show another article to show exactly what was said. But I noticed that when it comes to like your LGBT community and your Jewish community, like that, like, listen, if you misspeak about those two communities, then you're out of here, you're fired. You get that Donald Trump, you're fired treatment. And but though, when other groups of people are talked about, like people, the Black community, I don't see them go hard like that when, when things are said about the Black community. It's just like people still had their jobs. The people may or may not apologize, depends on how they feel, but it's just a different, it's different, it just like clearly, I guess it hits different to the powers that be when it's some comments made that are unfavorable for the Jewish community or the LGBTQ community. So that's just my opinion from what I noticed. My thing is like, I feel like everyone deserves respect, and the same energy that's given for those communities, that should be given for all communities, including the Black community, Hispanic community, any community, anyone who speaks reckless or misspeaks or have misspoken about a certain community. I just feel like everybody should get that same treatment. And I don't feel like that's what's going on in America. But we'll continue on with this article. The entire ABC News organization stands in solidarity with our Jewish colleagues, friends, family, and communities. Okay, so we went over that. A source told the Daily Beast that Whoopi's co-host Sunny Hostin. So Sunny Hostin, that is this one right here in the white. And then we have Joy Behar and Anna Navarro. So that's Joy Behar. Anna is not in this picture. Anna's not, she's not in that photo. And yeah, Anna Navarro, she's not in that photo. Those other co-hosts are furious with the network's decision. None of the stars have made a public comment on the suspension, but Sunny Hostin retweeted a post that read, ADL making it clear here that the org is accepting Whoopi Goldberg's apology. The Daily Mail reported, however, that some ABC staffers were really upset and don't understand why it took 2 days for Whoopi to face consequences. Also, y'all, I mean, from what what I heard, or Whoopi claims to be Jewish herself, and she's been known to support the Jewish community. Uh, and from what I've allegedly, the name Goldberg is the name she took on because it represents the Jewish side, the Jewish side, her heritage. So that's what I heard today when someone was speaking about the situation. So I'm not, I haven't gone and looked, researched that, but that's just what I heard another person's, another content creator speaking on the matter. They mentioned that. So if you guys are familiar with anything pertaining to Whoopi, just let me know. But um, we'll carry on with this article, see what other information we get out of here. The Daily Mail reported, however, that some ABC staffers are really upset and don't understand why it took 2 days for Whoopi to face consequences. Several other staffers called the 66-year-old to be fired, allegedly. These comments are absolutely abhorrent and outrageous, and it's time Disney and ABC grow a pair and fired her, the source said. Whoopi apologizes. Whoopi expressed regret for her words in an apology on Twitter. She said, "My words upset so many people, which was never my intention," she said. "I understand why now. And for that, I am deeply, deeply grateful because the information I got was really helpful and helped me understand some different things." Goldberg's comments came only days after the Holocaust Remembrance Day, when tribute was paid to the 6 million people who died. The View show on Monday had been discussing the recent scandal after a Tennessee school board voted to remove the Pulitzer Prize-winning graphic novel Moss from an 8th grade language arts curriculum. The book depicts Jews being tortured and murdered by the Nazis during World War II. The board had claimed the book is unsuitable because of bad language and the depiction of female nudity. It was removed from this school's curriculum after months of increased pressure from the parents in some districts over books that focus on issues of race, gender, identity, and sexuality. I'm surprised that that's what's made you uncomfortable. The fact that there was some nudity. I mean, it's about the Holocaust, the killing of 6 million people, but that didn't bother you, Goldberg asked. While these first comments did initially draw the anger of her co-host, Goldberg later returned to her theory that the Holocaust, which was sparked by the belief in a master race and a desire for racial purity, was not about race. "If you're going to do this, then let's be truthful about it," Goldberg said, "because the Holocaust isn't about race." "No, it's not about race." Co-host Joe Behar hit back. "Then what was it about?" "It's about man's inhumanity to man." Goldberg responded again, claiming Adolf Hitler's final solution was not about race. That's what it's about. Jewish leaders speak out. Okay, so Rabbi, here we come. Then they coming out. They coming forward. Y'all remember when that happened with Nick Cannon? They came for him. Nick had to do a whole entire sit down, with members from the Jewish community to get him on board. So Rabbi Abraham Cooper, Associate Dean of the Simon Wiesenthal Center, struggled with Whoopi's statement on Monday. "The only explanation that I have for it is that there is a new definition of racism that has been put out there in the public recently that defines racism exclusively as the targeting of people of color. And obviously, history teaches us otherwise," he said. "Everything about Nazi Germany and about the targeting of Jews and about the Holocaust was about race and racism. That's the unfortunate, unsaleable historic fact." Kenneth L. Marcus Chapman of the Louis D. Brandeis Center for Human Rights Under Law said Whoopi's comments showed misconceptions people still have about the Holocaust. In her error, she was reflecting a misunderstanding of Jewish identity that is both widespread and dangerous, that is sometimes described as erasive, autonomy, anti-Semitism, said Marcus. It is the notion that Jews should be viewed only as being white, privileged oppressors, he continued. It denies Jewish identity and involves a whitewashing of Jewish history. In an interview with CNN's Don Lemon, Greenblatt said he accepted Whoopi's apology. I know she's been a friend of the Jewish community all throughout her career, and I respect that and appreciate it. I can't comment on ABC's news internal process, but what I will say is that I hope Whoopi can use the next 2 weeks for a process of introspection and learning. Greenblatt hopes that Whoopi can use the opportunity and platform to educate herself and to share what she learns with her audience, with the country at large. Listen, you know, clearly, Whoopi admits that she misspoke. There was a misunderstanding. She apologized. But again, how many other people that are outside of the Black community have done the same thing and an apology suffice? So, sometimes, well, I guess, I can think of one where it didn't and she lost her job. What's that Fox News lady who, let me see what her name was. She had lost her job because she spoke something about not finding it a problem or something like that with dressing. I think it was something dealing with like Halloween and blackface or something like that. She worked on Fox News. Let me see if I can remember what her name was. If anybody know who I'm talking about, mention it in the chat or the comments. Let me see. Let me see. What is her name? I can picture her face. I can't think of her name. Trump. Yeah. Megyn. I think it was Megyn. Is it Megyn? Megyn. Yeah, her name is Megyn. Fox News. Fox News. I know her name is Megyn. Fox News. Megyn Kelly. Yep. So that was Megyn Kelly. Yeah. If you guys remember she had misspoke on the show that she was on and loses her job. But she had lost her job. Okay. So remember, okay, so let me share my screen because remember when Megan Fox, she did something and it resulted in her losing her job as well. So it does, I just feel like it's just harsher when it comes to when certain things are said about specific communities. I don't know. I just feel like the energy is just stronger when things are said about, say, the Jewish community or like I talked about with the LGBT community. And I just don't see that the energy is the same when other communities are disrespected. But I will acknowledge that Megan Fox did lose her job from, when she had misspoke on her show. So I'm going to share my screen so we can kind of be reminded of um, when that whole situation happened. Lose his job. Let's see, because I just found and like she has like she has a YouTube channel, so she has quite a bit of followers on YouTube. I kind of just started noticing her. Somehow she came up in a recommendation of mine. So that's how I seen that she was back on the scene. But if Megan loses show, full-time show, or Megan lost her show. So okay, so let me share my screen. I just want to get into just to show, just to be fair, to show that there was an incident where, someone else who was pretty popular and lost their job, due to them misspeaking. So this is on popculture.com, and it says full timeline of how Megyn Kelly lost her show. So it goes this was dated November 3rd, 2018. So I'm just kind of taking you back to show that, there's been other people who have lost their jobs from, making some comments that um, offended a number of people. So it says Megyn Kelly is out of a job at NBC just 4 days after defending blackface costume on her daytime show, Megyn Kelly Today. It was a swift fall for the former Fox News anchor who arrived at NBC with the hope of becoming the network's next big star. It all began on Tuesday when Kelly had a panel of guests on to discuss insensitive Halloween costumes, referencing a scandal involving a Real Housewives star who dressed as Diana Ross last year. Kelly surprisingly defended blackface, saying it was okay when she was a kid as long as you were dressing up as like a character. Kelly later issued apologies to NBC staff on her show, but it was not enough to stop the tide against her. On Thursday morning, she was not on her show. 24 hours later, NBC canceled Megyn Kelly Today, launching what is sure to be weeks of talks to settle her contract. So Megyn Kelly, let's see. On Tuesday, Kelly had a group of panelists debate the yearly outrage against offensive Halloween costumes. Kelly defended some of these costume choices, but her guests did not. But what is racist? Kelly asked them, because you do get in trouble if you are a white person who puts on blackface on Halloween, or a black person who puts on whiteface for Halloween. But when I was a kid, that was okay as long as you were dressing up as like a character. The panelists thought most know what is offensive before Kelly defended Real Housewives of New York star Luann de Lesseps, who dressed as Diana Ross last year. She dressed as Diana Ross and she made her skin look darker than it really is, Kelly said. And she said that was racist. And I don't know. I thought, like, who doesn't love Diana Ross? She wants to look like Diana Ross for one day. I don't know how that got racist on Halloween. Panelist Jacob Saborov said he had not seen the costume, but said it sounds a little racist to me. I can't keep up with the number of people we're offending by just being normal people, Kelly said. Wow. So it says before Tuesday was over, Kelly issued an apology to NBC staffers, which was made publicly by the NBC spokesperson. One of the wonderful things about my job is that I get the chance to express and hear a lot of opinions. Today is one of those days where listening carefully to other points of view, including from my friends and colleagues, is leading me to rethink my own views, Kelly said. During the first hour of the Wednesday TV show, Al Roker ripped into Kelly at the beginning of the episode, quote, "Wild that NBC is paying Megyn Kelly tens of millions of dollars." Al Roker on Megyn Kelly's apology. While she apologized to the staff, she owes a bigger apology to folks of color around the country because this is a history going back to the 1830s. The fact is, she owes a bigger apology to demean and denigrate a race wasn't right, Roker said. I'm old enough to have lived through Amos and Andy, where you had white people in blackface playing two black characters, just magnifying the stereotypes about black people. And that's what the big problem is. No good comes from it. It's just not right. Period. Anchor Craig Melvin called Kelly's remarks stupid, undefensible, and ignorant and racist. Kelly did return to NBC on Wednesday, beginning her episode with an apology. It would turn out to be the last time she would appear on the network. She said, I want to begin with two words. I'm sorry. She said, you may have heard that yesterday we had a conversation about political correctness in Halloween costumes. I defended the idea of blackface, saying that as long as it was respectful and a part of a Halloween costume, it seemed okay. Well, I was wrong and I am sorry. Even the apology was criticized as she appeared to say she only recently learned how offensive blackface can be. Quote, I have never been a politically correct kind of person, but I do understand the value of being sensitive to our history, particularly on race and ethnicity. Kelly said, this past year has been so painful for many people of color. The country feels so divided, and I have no wish to add to that pain and offense. I believe this is a time for more understanding, more love, more sensitivity, and honor, and I want to be part of that. Thank you for listening and for helping me listen to Kelly's in studio audience gave her a standing ovation, which left some on social media stunned. At almost the instant after Kelly finished her apologies, rumors started flying that she would be leaving NBC News. Kelly had a history of making controversial remarks during her tenure at Fox News, was not present for Thursdays. Okay, what did it say? Kelly, who had a history of making controversial remarks during her tenure at Fox News, was not present for Thursday's taping. Yeah, so she got paid to leave. I don't know if Whoopi money would be looking anything like that if she were to try to walk. But y'all know how the rules change, from person to person or cultural group to cultural group. It's just, the way it is. So, Whoopi, she said her apology. It's up to the people, if they want to accept. Do I feel like it should warrant her to lose her? Well, actually, I mean, at this point, I guess she's just suspended. But whether or not it's true that Whoopi wants to walk away because she's in her feelings about being suspended, I guess she has to evaluate and see, if she willing to just put it behind her or and walk away from, the whole situation, her income, all of that, or if she's like, okay, whatever, I made a mistake, we dealt with it, let's move past it. I don't know. I can't make that decision. That's on her. I do understand, if people felt offended, like, because people felt offended, and Megan Fox, keep saying Megan Kelly, Megan Fox um, made her comment that was deemed to be insensitive to many of people. I personally also feel blackface on any occasion is not right. That's my personal opinion. Whoopi, she had her opinion. Her opinion didn't offend me, but clearly it offended other people. So it's up to those people whether or not they want to accept her apology. And as I say, we live and we learn. We live and we learn. So it's definitely a learning lesson for many people. Even, with me learning, some things as far as, how people of the Jewish community feel when it comes to, like, the Holocaust and their thoughts in comparison to Whoopi. So I think, many people um, around the world has learned a lesson or two from this situation. But at the end of the day, we just have to be careful about what we say, because I do believe that today we do definitely live in an ultra sensitive world. So with that being said, it's people should make it a habit to think before they speak, because it can cost you when you don't. And left and right, we're seeing a lot of people talking about lawsuits, people having to pay up. Like, ain't nobody got time for that. I know I'm not trying to be caught up in any type of situation like that because I said something and somebody like, okay, well, you were wrong. Like, no. So I do try to make sure I'm careful with my words. And that's why I like to show you all the sources, where I get information that I come on here and talk about, so you can see, okay, sis ain't over here just making up stuff, and if I don't know or didn't get it from, like, in the internet, I'll say, okay, I heard another content creator say this. Don't know if it's true or not, but this is what I heard. But for the most part, I try to come on here and speak to what's actually been put out there on the internet. And whether or not it's true or not, I don't know. But, at least I'm able to source it back to, a whole company, So if they putting out wrong information, it's going to be more so on them versus somebody who's kind of going to that website and reading and reporting from it. So CYA over here. But yes, let me know. You guys make sure you drop a comment. Let me know what you think about this whole situation. Do you think that Whoopi has every right to be in her feelings? They should have just accepted her apology and let her show up to work as usual and collect her coin? Or do you think that, okay, sis was just doing too much? She she deserved to be suspended and she lucky to even still be on payroll. Like, what are your what are your thoughts? Let me know. Please like, share, subscribe. This party is growing. We're growing each day. We're getting more and more starlight. So we want to keep that up. So like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you know when I go live. Because as I say, we real random over here. But one thing's for sure, we definitely stay in the know. So until the next broadcast, peace.